All right, on absolute value inequalities, we're looking at a whole range of numbers that will work. So in this example, we're looking for all of the numbers x whose distance away from 0 is less than 3. So you could have 1, you could have 0.1, you could have 2.99, negative 2, negative 2.99, so any number within that boundary. And there's an infinite number of x values that could make this inequality true. So the first step is to isolate the absolute value. Oh, so I need to subtract there. Okay, so then we would get the absolute value of 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 9. Now, our two cases in this are going to be that we're showing this expression, in this case it's x plus 5, is within this boundary. It can be less, or it has to be no less than negative 9 and no bigger than 9. Okay, so there's our two cases, negative and positive, and it's within that boundary. Okay, great, and now I can go through and solve this compound inequality. So I would get negative 14 is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to 4, and then divide everything by 2. We've got negative 7 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. And then if we're asked to write that in set builder, it would be the set of all x's such that x is within that boundary. Negative 7 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. And then we could see that graphically. If we've got negative 7 and 2, we've got an infinite number of values in there. Okay, and then the interval notation would have a bracket because of this less than or equal to sign. Okay, and that's done. Now, on this next one, we have a greater than, and that's going to completely change our process. So it's really important to look at these really carefully. When it's greater than, it's outside of the boundary, okay? So it's everything further away from 3. So we need to have the two cases showing that. It's bigger than 3, okay? Or it's everything less than negative 3. So there are our two cases, and that's how we're going to write them out. Okay, so first step is isolate your absolute value. Okay, now our two cases need to be bigger than 3 or less than negative 3. Okay, so here we go. We would have whatever's inside that absolute value, keep that every sign, just copy it exact, bigger than 3, and then the other case would be all of that 3x plus 3, copy everything exactly, and now it's less than negative 3. Okay, so those are outside the boundary beyond 3 units from 0. Okay, now we get to just go through and solve. I'm going to multiply by 5 here, and so then I would get 5 divided by 5 is just 1, so I would get 1 times 3x plus 3, or just 3x plus 3 is equal to 15, and subtracting 3 from both sides, we would get 3x is greater than 12, so x is greater than 4. And then next, here I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 as well, clear out the fractions. So I've got 3x plus 3 is less than negative 15, and subtracting 3 there, we would get 3x is less than negative 18, which would give us x is less than negative 6. Okay, and now we can write that out as a graph and in interval and set builder notation. Okay, so it's everything less than negative 6, and everything bigger than positive 4. Okay, and then our number line goes from negative infinity all the way to 0 and off towards positive infinity. And the interval notation is just taking a little snapshot of those endpoints. Okay, so here would be my interval. Notation would be going from negative infinity to negative 6, and I use parentheses on both those. Negative infinity is not a place I can go and stand on. It's just more of an idea. So the convention there is just to use a parentheses. Okay, and then our cases are or, and mathematically a big upside, or U is for or, and then we go from 4, don't include it, up to infinity, and that is our interval. And then the set builder would be the set of all x such that x is greater than 4 or x is less than -6. All right, and that's done. Okay, let's look at a special case here. We've got when is the absolute value, and that's a positive number. So when is a positive number equal to 0 or greater than 0? That would be always. It's true for all reals. So there's our solution set is all reals. And then on this one, when is a positive number, that's that absolute value. When is that less than a negative? That would be never, because absolute value is never negative. So you would have no solution there, or that would just be the empty set. Great, and now let's just look at where these show up. A lot of times when we're looking at measures of accuracy, this is where these equations would show up. So in this case, if we have the pH of the water in a public swimming pool should be maintained at a safe swimming value of 7.4. Slight variations in the tested value of the pH levels are acceptable, but should differ from the ideal pH level by no more than 0.02. So the difference between what we take our measurement in the pool and ideal should be no more than, so it could be 0.2, but it cannot be 0.3. It has to be anything less than that. Okay, so there would be the way that we would write that situation, and then we could find, well, what is the range of values? Here it's within that boundary of 0.2 units from our ideal, and so we would take negative 0.2 is less than or equal to x minus 7.4, which is less than or equal to 0.2. And then we could go through and solve that, add 7.4 to both sides, or to all the sides, and we would get 7.2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 7.6. So the range of ideal pH levels would be anything between 7.2 and 7.6. And these show up in engineering as well, and in medicine, where there's kind of this range of acceptable values.